Practicing the guitar for an hour a day is completely sufficient for most guitarists' goals. More time is required if you have goals to be a master guitarist or if you are playing extremely challenging music in a band on a consistent basis. So, where is the line? When do you know if you are falling behind or if you're ahead of the curve? When is 1 hour not enough practice time? Why 1 hour daily of practicing the guitar is plenty. Guitar is one of the most popular instruments. However, that doesn't mean that most people who play guitar play in a band. Many people play the guitar just for fun or for their own personal enjoyment or to socialize and jam out with their friends. With that in mind, 1 hour of practicing the guitar every day is more than enough to meet most people's goals. If you don't have aspirations to be professional guitarists playing in several gigs a week, then 1 hour of practice time should be more than sufficient to accelerate your learning into becoming very proficient in just a few years' time. That's right, years. One of the reasons why I love the guitar is that it's such a dynamic instrument. You can study the instrument your whole life and still have things to learn because it's so versatile. Plus, even with a few months of practice, the guitar can be really fun to play. If, however, you want to be good enough where you can pick up most songs and be able to play the chords without a guitar tap or being able to improvise and make up your own melodies, then it's going to take a few years of deliberate practice. Are you guaranteed to be amazing at guitar if you practice an hour a day? Well, no. Because it's not just about amount of practice, it's the amount of quality practice. It's easy to get lost in just trying to play songs that you like, but an important part of practice is to do focused practice that requires a lot of focus and that is not necessarily as fun. It's kind of like eating carbs and protein. Carbs are easy and fun to eat and are downright delicious, but protein is what our body needs to build muscle. Similarly, practicing songs is fun and it's necessary to have fun and love playing, but you need that tough practice to really improve. When 1 hour a day of practicing guitar isn't enough, so I just tried talking about how 1 hour of solid, focused practice is all most people need. But what about the rest? There are several reasons why 1 hour a day of practicing their guitar will not be enough. The first reason is if you're a professional musician and you're playing multiple gigs per week. If you are this type of musician, then it's likely that you're practicing multiple pieces and memorizing many different songs and trying to master new techniques constantly. With just 1 hour a day, that may not be possible. At this point, you may find that you need anywhere from 1 to 3 hours a day of focused practice. The second reason why 1 hour a day of practice may not be enough is if your practice time is not very effective. Many guitarists will tell you that you need to keep your practice fun, and I completely agree with this because if playing in the guitar isn't fun, then it's going to be hard to be motivated to practice. It's super hard to convince the rat to run the maze if you never give it any cheese or peanut butter, or whatever it is rats like to eat. The truth is that fun practice isn't always effective practice. How to know if your practice isn't effective? If you ever feel like you're on autopilot and your brain shuts off or you can focus on something else while playing, then it's likely you're not learning as much as you could be with that time. Learning is uncomfortable, but this uncomfortable section of your practice is going to be the most valuable because that means you're stretching yourself. This is a great barometer. If practice is super comfortable, then you're probably not learning as much as you could be. One huge thing to know, though, is that doesn't mean that you have to only practice scales. Good practice doesn't mean boring practice. You can definitely find melodic and creative practice that is difficult that will stretch you just as much as running up and down scales. So, is 1 hour really enough? In actuality, 1 hour of practice might actually be more than sufficient for many guitarists simply because their practice time may not be as effective as it could be. If you kept your practice time effective, you're going to accelerate your learning and be able to get more done in less time. I will say that an important part of any guitarist's time, though, is to play unstructured once in a while. When I say unstructured, I mean whatever you want, because that's where you can really experience the joy of the instrument. If it's a joy, then it's time well spent. The time that is easy to spend just flows and is pure fun. Thank you everyone for watching us till the end. It would be a great pleasure for us if you were a little help with this video. Comment us below.